Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Detox Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Stallion. First off, I want to start off saying shout out to Game 7 Podcast. They started this year off with a bang. De Niro. For those of you who don't watch Game 7 Podcast, I'm going to tell you right now, you missed a good one. And it's the focal point of our topic here. Tonight, we're talking about what is a person of high value. My guest is not here yet. I'm waiting for him to come in, but this man is he was very controversial to say the least. He has some things to say about single mothers and women and their value being lowered because they have children. Let me go on record to say this. I feel like that is 100% BS. And for me personally, I don't feel like a woman loses value just because she has a child, whether it was in wedlock, out of wedlock, it really doesn't matter. There's a lot of great single mothers out there, but I'm gonna tell you, this man's comments was wild. He focused in mostly on Black women. And for me, it kind of was a soft spot because my mother was a single mother. Me growing up, let's just put it to you like most of us grew up with. We didn't have both parents in the house. And look, that's not saying my dad was a terrible father. He wasn't there because that's the furthest thing from the truth. But that just means that my mom did a lot of things on her own. There was a lot of things that I had to go to my mom for that normally I would have went to my dad. And to say a woman loses value, not about preference, but she loses value just because she has children. Come on, man. Like, what? Who in the right mind would even fix their lips to say to feel that way? And I'm waiting for him to come in here because I want you guys aren't gonna believe me, but I want you guys to hear from him. But it's crazy, like the things that came out of this man's mouth. I'm telling you right now, what you need to do after the show, for a little more context, go to Game 7 Podcast. Watch the show from today. When you watch that show, you're going to see the things that he said, and it's going to blow your mind, seriously, to say the least. It's going to, for the single mothers, you might feel some type of way. It's a lot. But I'm going to tell you right now, this man lost his mind because me personally, I was sitting there listening to the things that came out this man's mouth. And I'm going to tell you right now where the problem starts. Kevin Samuels. That man is not a doctor. That man is not anyone's therapist. That man is a consultant, a image consultant. So when people take what he is saying as law or telling him to come on preach, I'm going to tell you right now, go seek help. Go get therapy and not Kevin Samuels, because that man needs to talk to somebody himself, and I'm going to just put it to you like this. The way they defined high value was, and these are not my words, the way they define high value is someone who makes six figures, great stable job, money in the bank, and biggest one, no kids. That is high value. So if you don't check all those boxes, you ain't high value. If you have all those boxes, but you are a woman, but your one defining factor is you have a kid, you lose value. How? There are amazing single mothers out there in this world. Amazing. I mean, I can't even describe the things that my mother overcame as a single mother, and I respect her for even more to this day. But the fact that you take someone and say, because you have a child, you're less than, or I'm going to devalue you, you're not seen the same. Where did that come from? Who thinks that? Whose ideology is this? When he get in here, I want you guys to be very voiceful in the comments, because I'm ask all the questions, and hopefully, he has some answers. But it's crazy, because it's like, what it comes down to is that we never talk about psychological problems we have growing up as children, because to have that mind frame, you have to be pretty damaged as a child or growing up as a teenager. Adult definitely have some issues, but my thing is we need to address that. We need to address the real problems of it, because no one talks about the things we go through growing up in life. But my thing is, if you want to sit here and say, dang, you got good money, you have a great job, you're very stable, but you got a kid, I can't talk to you, sis. Why? What does that child have to do with anything? How does that child take away from that woman's character? How does that child take away from what that woman can do for the relationship? Like, I don't understand. And Santana, who's part of the Game 7 podcast, he made a good statement. He said, I don't care if a woman does have kids, as long as I don't have to deal with crazy baby daddy drama or bad disobedient kids that it's like, what? How does that a knock against her? Me, I'm telling you right now, I took his statements extremely personal because, number one, I grew up with a single mother. And number two, I was dating a single mother of three. I didn't see nothing less of her. She'd go to work, take care of her business, provide for her children. And I'm not putting her business out there, but she does it mostly on her own. That's an exceptional woman. That's a great woman. When I see that in a woman, I say, look at her out there doing this all by her. My question to myself is, what can I bring to the table to complement what she already does? That is what needs to be said. But the thing is that when we look at that and we say, oh, that's a problem because she has children, I don't understand our logic. And then to compound it, the man goes on to say, but if it's a man, it don't degrade his value. He's still up there. And why, you ask? Why does he feel that way? Because he said 9 out of 10 times, there is no such thing as a single father. The kids stay with the mother. So he can go off and start his own family, but his value stays the same. His 6 figures means something. And in his mind, a high value man is a man who makes 6 figures. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't make nowhere near 6. I don't make nowhere near 6. I'm at a very, very heavy, decent 5. I'm nearing there, but I'm not there. But my thing is that I'm a great man. You ask my girlfriend, she'll tell you. I'm exceptionally great. I'm of high value. But the thing is that now I have a child. So if me and her weren't to work out, which is not the case, wedding coming in 2022, if we weren't to work out and I was out there in the dating world, people would probably, in his definition, women would look at me and say, oh, he got a kid, he take care of his kid, oh, he's great. But her is going to be a notch on her belt. I don't understand. I'm trying to give him time to get in here. I'm trying to see where. Let me message him, see where he at, because I can't reiterate the things that this man said, and it's a lot of people watching. There's some people watching right now who were in the other one, and they waiting for him to come in here too. And I mean, it's crazy to me, this man's logic and where it came from, and I was super speechless. Like it just baffles me. I agree. I agree with you, Sable. Serious head trauma, and he needs to talk to somebody. But like I said, it's not Kevin Samuels. And Kevin Samuels has been getting a lot of recognition because he keeps it real. He's honest, but in reality, he's a clown. I will tell him that he is a clown. Just because you talk loud does not mean you're right. And that's the problem with all. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's the problem with the Black community, because we feel just because someone is speaking loudly that they must be telling the truth. that they're real. Nas Santana, he gonna click the link. I didn't already message him. He said he coming in here. He said he gonna click the link, but it's mind blowing to me the fact that people are listening to idiots. Kevin Samuel, y'all can tag him, repost this, send this to whatever blog you want. Kevin Samuel is an idiot. He is a male image consultant who people are passing off as if he's a therapist, a doctor, or he is some kind of guru, love relationship guru. He's here. Everybody, y'all go easy on him in the comments because I want his opinion. I want him to run from this one, and we're not gonna cut him off. We're gonna let him talk. I like y'all to welcome Mr. Julian.
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And I was in the game 7. I was in the comments. I was there. You're gonna have to break this down to me because you said some things that it didn't sit well. I'm gonna be honest with you. It didn't sit well. And I need clarification because you have a story and you come from somewhere and it's like it seems like something happened. I don't know. That maybe is sticking with you through your adulthood. And so we're talking about high value, and we're going to talk about high value women because that's what your comments were about. So everybody
I was listening to your podcast a little before I came in, and let me define Kevin Samuel's definition of a high value man because I said in the game 7, I did say he's a man of no kids. He never said that. No, his definition is a man making money. Money is number one, 6 figures or more, at least 10K a month. The second, that makes a high value man. The second thing is the length of time you made that money, 3 to 5 years. You have to make 6 figures or more for a period of time over 3 to 5 years. The third thing is group acceptance. You have to be accepted by other high value men. So you have to have group acceptance accepted by other high value men. And, they have to accept it. Number 4 is a network of contacts of high value men in your network. And then number 5 is visibility of your position and income. They have to know what you do, know what you're doing, know what you're moving and shaking. And it got to be LinkedIn level. And that's his definition of a high value man. And that's what I definitely aspire to be.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you know Kevin Samuel's profession, correct?
Yes, he's a image consultant. Yes.
Okay. So when he's talking about a high value person, he's talking to the people who he's consulting with, the people who he's not a relationship guru. He's not a therapist. So a lot of things that he puts out there, I'm gonna just say it, are bullshit. Because the thing is that people are listening to him saying like, oh, this is who I have to be accepted. In reality, no. That's not a high value man because see, if you look at it, look at the hip hop era, look at the sports athletes, look at these people who have the 6 figures and more, who have this all that going on. If you follow what you said, they have the money, they have the income. Look at the people they hang with, but a lot of them are dirt people. They are trash.
Yeah, I agree. But one thing he also says is that he don't put athletes and entertainers in the same category as working high value men that actually had to work and build themselves to that point. Blue collar or office, they had a 500 company, they had to build that. So he don't consider just because you're a rapper or an athlete, he don't consider you a high value man.
So in your opinion, and now let's take Kevin out of it. It's just Julian. Okay. In your opinion, high value basically equals money. So in order to be a high value person, you have to have money. Is that your thing?
That's one thing. You have to have more than just money. Like I said, the 5 things, you should have, but you have to definitely have more than just money. Money shouldn't just make you high value, but that is a big factor. You can't be homeless. You can't just be barely making it. You can't just, not be handling your business.
So a man who can provide for his family,
Mm-hmm.
And they're not. He don't make six figures, but his family don't want for nothing. He's not barely getting by. You know, is he not high value? He doesn't hang with the people he hang with are still people in his range. Is he not high value? He's
It
doing what he
depends.
has to do. It what?
It depends on the situation. It depends, on the situation. He might be high value to his family, but in society, he's not considered high value. He's just a normal, guy making it, taking care of his family. But
Okay, so
society level puts us at certain levels.
but see that
Society.
but see that's the thing. Now we're talking about just being accepted by society. But
Mhm.
that's the problem, especially with this day and age and this generation, is that everyone wants to be accepted. Whatever happened to people just doing what they have to do in reality and just saying, forget what everybody else say. I don't have to be that guy who makes it's good to aspire to be that person, but in
Mhm.
reality, we have to stay in our lane, and that's the thing that people forget.
Mhm.
If I'm a black entrepreneur and my thing is I work well with apparel, I have the clothing line, I do that. Why am I going to jump over and try to do a car dealership when I have no knowledge of that? That's not me. I'm black
Mhm.
entrepreneur. I don't need to go into the white mainstream. That's and
Mhm.
that's the problem with us, is that we want to be accepted. I don't give a damn what the executives think about me. All they need to know is I'm Terrence Moore. I come to work. I do my job. I don't cause no problems. I go home. That
And
is
that,
what.
and I understand that, but society still, like at the end of the day, society ranks us. At the end of the day, it's society. They gonna rank us regardless. If
But
I
why
was
do we
just a
care? But why
homeless
do we
bum,
care?
they'd say I'm a bum. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not,
But see, the
if I,
thing is, if you know what you're doing is right, why do you care what other people say?
at the end of the day, it's not that I care. It's just it's society. They're gonna judge you based on what you provide. A judge a man on what he basically provides. They're gonna do it regardless.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. But here's the thing, and you know this what I'm about to say to be true, especially
Hmm.
as a black man. They're gonna talk about you whether you're doing good. They're gonna talk about you whether you're doing bad. So why waste your time trying to live up to their expectations when in reality, as a black man, they're not gonna accept you in the first place?
I understand that. In reality, yeah, I go to say you should still aspire to be the best version of yourself you can be, whether that's high value or a person that's just working a 9 to 5 and you just taking care of your family and you don't care about the flashier things. You should still aspire to be the best version of yourself that you can be. But at the same time, when we talking about not bringing Kevin back up into the, but when we talking about him, when the women call into his show, they want a man of that nature. They want somebody that's actually at that level, and they don't look at regular guys that's working regular jobs and respect them in that same level. A lot.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought him up, and I'm glad you brought that subject up, because now we're gonna get into what you said. And for everyone who is not familiar with what was said on Game 7 podcast, let me go back and tell you. Julian, and if I'm wrong, you can correct me,
Mhm.
but you said a woman with children loses value. Even if
Yes,
she
sir.
checks all those boxes, she has the money, she has the stable income,
She had a look.
she can provide, she has the looks, she loses value. That's
She
what you said, right?
Yeah, yes. That's the honest truth. She lose value because at the end of the day, a man, and even a single, even a man with kids, a lot of times men with kids don't want a woman with kids. These are the conversations a lot of men have, and at the end of the day, you know, we still gonna look at that woman like that. We still gonna have that question in the back of our head. Oh, she got kids already, especially if you don't have kids. So
So
that
okay, so for me, I'm dating a single mother. When I
okay.
first got her, she has to get. It doesn't take anything away of what she does for me. So my question to you is: a woman can check all those boxes, treat you better than you can treat yourself.
Mhm.
Seriously, she's the breadwinner, does all that, and you will really give her a negative for a child?
Yes, sir. Now, let me ask you a question. When you first met her, the woman you're dating now, you found out she had kids, you didn't feel any type of way. It was just like,
No.
okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't. Because me growing up, there was a lot of step situations in my family. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up with a stepmother.
Okay.
So I don't take it as a knock because guess what? She had a son. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, she was with my dad. So my thing is that me growing up, I saw a lot of situations where people were dealing with people with kids, people who weren't necessarily blood family, but guess what? They are family,
Mm-hmm.
cousins that way. So to me, it's not an issue if a woman has a kid because my thing is, if I see a woman struggling, not struggling, let me change that. If I see a woman grinding, doing what she has to do, her kids don't want for nothing, and she still has time to deal with me, that is a plus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the ideology that you can give her negative because if she's putting on all these hats, as you see behind me, I got hats. If she's throwing all
Right.
these on, I'm the working woman. Take this hat off, I come home. I'm the mother. Take this hat off, I kick my feet up with my girls. Take this hat off, I'm the girlfriend. I lived over an hour away, but guess what?
Right.
She
Okay.
made sure she checked in on me every day. When I did come out to visit her, I had food waiting for me when I pulled into the driveway. Didn't even have to be hungry. Before I left, she made sure I took lunches to work. So it's like, if she's doing all this, why am I going to knock the fact she has a kid?
Okay. With that being said, that's great. You got a great woman, and you, like I said, I don't discourage anybody that does find a good woman like you talking about to not date her just because she got some kids. I don't tell them don't date her just because she got kids. You still gonna notice the kids, but I don't say don't date her just because she got kids. But at the same time, we got to be honest. Most of these mothers out here with these kids are not living up to that standard. It's not great women. Let's just be honest.
So maybe you're just looking in the wrong place, but the fact that maybe if you said the women I've dated, the women I've seen lose value when they have kids because they don't live up to a standard, I would understand that. But you said all women. So
I'm
that's
not saying all, but it's a lot. It's a lot more than I get. More than the women because guys have these conversations all the time. Even if you look at like we going back to Kevin, when you go to that page, it's all men saying the same thing.
What page?
When you go to his YouTube and he's doing his live videos, all you see is guys saying what I'm saying in the comments.
Listen, I'm gonna say stay off of Kevin Samuels, but real quick, we're gonna go to the comments. And
Okay.
Brittany Davis says, when a man reaches that high value, if he reached that position illegally or unmorally, does that take away from his high value?
Yes, if he reached it illegally, he's not a high value man.
But here's my question to you. How do you know what he did to get his money?
You don't know that, but if he's dealing in criminal activity, we talking about professional people here, not a person that's dealing in illegal activity and doing something behind the book to get his money. Because 9 times out of 10, he's not going to keep that status. It's eventually going to crumble. So we can't put him in the same category as a high value, honest living, working, building a business, Blue Henry, or a brand that's making, in the corporate world, making his ends meet. We can't put them in the same situation.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What's your relationship status?
I'm single.
You're single.
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever dated a woman with kids?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
What happened? What was so wrong about it?
She actually it wasn't her kids. I actually liked how she treated her kids very well. That's one thing I liked about it. That she was very uniquely raising her kids by herself, and it was a beautiful thing. She our situation didn't last for other reasons, but as far as that point, her having kids, it wasn't a problem because she was great with her kids. I could give her that.
So when you first started talking to her, did you know she had kids, or did it come as a shock later on?
She, at first she told me, and when we first started talking, and I was like, like I said, that them thoughts come behind in your mind. Then, as we progressed and talked, and, I seen how she interacted with her kids, and it made it clear, like, okay, she good on that.
But did you devalue her before you push her along? So when she first said, "I got kids," was you like,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did.
She lost weight because she had kids. So
yeah, because you
So
think of the horror stories that could happen. Like,
what
oh wow,
horror stories? What horror stories?
it's so many horror stories. There's so many guys that got to deal with. They talk about it all the time. Got to deal with this other man. They father don't like him around the kids, and that's fine. Or they father, or they don't even. Or if they do get in a relationship, and he's the head of the household, or he's in the household with the woman and making it happen. A lot of times the stepfather can't even say anything to the child. Like if he be like, and a lot of times the women will tell you, you're not his, you're not his father. He got a father for that. But I'm the man in the house. I gotta say so too.
But then that's something you have to deal with her, but that has nothing to do with her value. See, what a lot of people forget is that when it comes to people's children, there's a certain way to deal with things. So if you're dealing with someone and they're raising their child a certain way, and then you come in and you're trying to bring the hammer down, but they're not used to that, I see where that might cause a friction. But the thing is, you have to know how to deal with that. You have to know how to talk to your significant other to get a mutual understanding, find mutual common ground, so that way things can be discussed. But see, it's all about the action. It's all about how you approach things. So when it comes to that topic, but I'm trying to stick on the fact that you found out she had kids. She lost value in your eyes. You go on, you see how she is with kids, and did it bring her value up, or was it still like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. It was like, okay, I understand. I understand. It still was an asterisk on her part because she then, said, I don't even want any more kids. So I'm a single man with no kids, and now I'm dealing with you, and you don't want any kids. So it's not gonna really work in the first place.
Now we're getting somewhere. So my question to you is: it you want whoever you're with to have your kids first? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's how it should go all the time. It don't happen like that all the time. But a man
Don't say
really
man.
wants
Don't say it. Don't say all men, because I know a
most
lot of men.
most men want their own biological seeds
Okay.
from their relationship at first. Yes.
So that's what. So my thing is though, but you have to be very clear, because what you said in the comment, because I had to go through and do my research, and the things you were saying in the comments and the things you said on other podcasts, you're putting it out there that like any woman who has a kid, and let's dig deeper, because you said out of wedlock. So any woman who has a kid out of wedlock is a negative.
Yes.
And
Yes,
but here's my question though. If a woman was engaged, got pregnant during her engagement, what if a woman had a kid during marriage? What if whatever those steps may be, and she's divorced, they separate long term? I'm not talking about one night stands. I'm talking about long-term relationships that produce a child. Is she devalued?
It's still like, okay, she got kids, but at the same time, it goes along with she had kids in a marriage. She had kids in a marriage. She's the real single mother, actually. You know what I'm saying? The other women that didn't get married, that had kids out of wedlock, they baby mamas. Let's get that straight. She is the single mother. She had kids. She had it the right way. She was with her in a relationship, married to this man, and they had kids, and it didn't work out. That's understandable. It's still like you still got another man kids, and a man's still gonna look at that. But at the same time, she did it the right way. She is the actual single mother. The other women are baby mamas. Let's be honest. They didn't demand anything for that man to impregnate them. They didn't demand no ring. They didn't demand, a real committed relationship. They didn't demand anything. But then they act, when they call it in that show, they act like they deserve a man. Now they telling this man he needs to bring this and this to the table, when your baby daddy didn't bring you anything.
Okay, but here's my but see, go ahead, finish.
Your baby daddy didn't bring you anything but a baby and left you dry. So we have to understand that lowers your value. At the end of the day, if I'm a bum out here on the streets, if I'm a bum and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, in society, they call me a bum. When women mess up like that and they have kids out of wedlock or whatever the case may be, which happens a lot, like I said on the other show, in our community, the Black community, let's make that clear. You know, it happens in other communities too, but we talking about us. It's looked at, it is a negative, but we just made it not a negative. Now it's normal to be a baby mother. Now it's normal to be a single mother, a baby mother. That's normal in our society. That's not normal. We're supposed to have a family structure, a man, a woman, and a child. And this is not happening like it should in these times. It does happen, but not like it should.
Here's my question to you, because you're putting it all on the mom. You're putting it all on the mother. What about the deadbeat fathers who lay in bed because a baby is made? Man, woman, they come together, do what they do, have a baby. Why is it all on the woman? Why? Like, what about him? Why is it that he is not a part of this conversation? He's not a part of the problem. Because what if she does everything she can to try to make it work, but he just don't want to be there because guess what? He couldn't step up and be a man. Because and let's be real, and we're talking about our community. That's what we see a lot of in our community. We see a lot of men who can lay down, enjoy the time, but cannot step up for what comes next. And see, that's the reason why you have a lot of single mothers, because you have a lot of men who don't want to deal with what comes next. They're there for the good times, but not for the hard. And so when he walks out and she becomes a single mother and she's doing what she has to do, why is that a knock against her?
I will say it like this. To be there. A lot of times, let's be honest, everybody has a choice. A lot of times these women choose these type of men. Let's be honest. A lot of them choose these type of men that really don't want to step up. They knew he couldn't step up in the first place before they laid down with him. I didn't work with plenty of professional women, like I said on the last podcast, and they chose these type of men. They didn't have to. I'm at work. I see a man drive up. Oh, that's your man? Oh, yeah, that's my man. He drive off. I say, that's your car? He drive off in her car. This happens too much. They make jokes about this on Facebook. This is a joke to them. You know, let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest.
You're right. You're right. And the problem is that there's not enough men knowing how men should act. That's the problem in our community. The thing is you're talking about the conclusion, but you're forgetting the process to get to that conclusion, because you're talking about the single mothers and how they lose value. But let's talk about the men who devalued them in the first place to put them there. Those are the people that need to be attacked. Those are the people that need to lose value.
I want to say that.
No, hold on. Let me finish. If you're a man and you create baby with woman number one and you walk out, then go lay down with woman number two and create another baby, you are the problem. If they tried to keep you there, they tried to work with you because they believe in what you said, the family environment, the man, woman, child, they tried to keep that going, and he chose not to be there, you can't blame the woman for that. You heard the expression love is blind. You know how this goes. You know us men, hold on. You know men, especially men, can put on a face. And a lot of women love with their heart. We love it. Let's just be real. We love what's between our legs. We don't care nothing about this or nothing about that. We can lay there, we can get up, put our pants on, leave. A woman who lets a man into her all of a sudden develop, and I'm not saying every woman, but I'm saying most women, they develop a connection. They get emotional. They have all the feelings. So if they are trying to make it work, how are you sitting there saying that they were wrong, or it's a notch because they have a child? Like, I really want you to look and see what you're saying and think about it. You can walk down the street and meet a woman tomorrow that you think is very beautiful, who has the money, who's successful, and you can try to talk to her and see. And the thing is, I have a lot of single mother friends, a gang of them. They're going to kill you in the comments. I'm going to tell you right now. If a woman decides she's not going to tell you on date number one, maybe not even tell you date number two, she has a child because she wants to see how things are going, she's not going to tell you. But if you are vibing and you like, yo, this woman cool, she got everything, she's and then date number 3 or 4, she says, by the way, I just want to let you know I have a child, I was just waiting to tell you, you going to look at her cross?
Yes, because that's something you should bring up in the first date. Because what do a woman say? Like, we're going to go, a woman, what they say, I'm a package deal. They a package deal, right? So you need to know, let that man know what he's getting into, especially on out the gate. Because that's kind of like you being deceptive at that point. If you just telling me on the third date, you know, you should let me know in the beginning, and I could determine if I even want to deal with that on the first date myself. I'm determined, okay, that's not what I'm looking for. But if we vibing and then it's the third date and we just spent money and we vibing and now you all of a sudden tell me now I feel like you was being deceptive. So that's
But
my
see, the thing
analogy.
is that maybe she does not want to disclose her entire life to you at that moment because she don't know you just might be date number 1 or 2. You might just be the meal. You might just be the guy who I go have a steak dinner on, the guy that might go get some crab, and that's it.
That's not right either. That's it.
But see, the thing is, so here's the double standard. Because guess what? Men, we do it all the time. Mm-hmm. You have, and you know it's true. You have men who a woman won't even know they have a kid until they're at the baby shower, posting pictures on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be like, oh, who's it? Oh, that's my family. So my thing is that how is it?
That's the difference. That's the difference between a man and a woman. A man could hide his kid. He don't have to have his kids all the time, most of the time. A woman, that kid is always there. That kid is with them. That kid is always in their vicinity. Always, they have custody of the child most of the time, 90% of the time. So that child is hold on, let me say this. It's a package deal, right? Have you ever heard a man say, I'm a package deal?
That's not a man term. I have friends that are single fathers, but in their thing, they don't say I'm a package deal. It's me and my daughter. It's me and my son.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
But okay, you have men terms, you have men lingo, you have women lingo. There's certain things that men say, there's certain things women say. So
so that's showing us we are different. A woman with her kids is a package deal. A man and his kids, not necessarily a package deal.
Why not? Because my thing is this: if me and my girlfriend, God forbid, were to break up, I still have a daughter. If I'm dating someone and I'm dealing with someone, guess what? My daughter comes with me at the end of the day. I don't care who has custody. My daughter is part of my life. So if I'm going to start dealing with you, and let's say for whatever reason, we're 4 months in, 5 months in, and it's my weekend and my daughter's there, if I feel that's a package, you better treat her.
The first words, like you said, the weekend. So no. 5 days, she was at home with her mother.
But on the weekend, my thing is came in. No. My thing is because me personally, my entire life, when I go out on date night, my dates are always on the weekend. That's why I said weekend. Mm-hmm. My thing, I don't during the week, I don't do dates. Don't nobody come over. Like when I was single, it ain't no come over, let's hang out during the weekday. It was either Friday night to Sunday afternoon. But most of my life I work graveyard. So my thing is that during the week, that's not me. That's why I said weekend. If God forbid anything was to happen, hopefully we would be able to work something out that I would want to do it every other week, not weekend. I don't want to be a weekend daddy. That's not me. Right. But my thing is, regardless if I get full custody, regardless if it's every other week, every other weekend, my thing is that my daughter is still a part of my life.
Yeah.
Is that not a knock on my belt?
No, because men are different from women. No, it's not.
So let's just be honest. You have a double standard.
Yeah, it is a double standard, but it's society. It's how society works. They don't look at they don't look at the men the same way as the women. They look at, I never heard, well, it's a couple of times I have heard, but for the most part, a lot of women date men with kids. A lot of them prefer to date a man with kids, but I have heard the opposite from men. A lot of men don't prefer to date a woman with all kids already. It's some that do if they have kids, but if a man, especially if he don't have kids, he would rather not date a woman with kids. And we just being honest.
But why would you want to keep the standard going? That's my question to you. Because you brought up the S word again, society. Mm-hmm. Why do you want to follow society? Because in all honesty, society is wrong. Let's really talk about society. Society are the same people who stormed the Capitol building. That's society. Mm-hmm. Why are you trying to impress these people?
We talking about, basically our society. And they say statistically,
Okay,
so I've heard.
okay. Look. You said statistics on the last show. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you're gonna say statistics, I need a source. I need a quote. I need factual numbers because I'm gonna look it up. So
Yeah, you can look it up. I don't know exactly where you can go, but they say statistically what I heard. I haven't even, but they say I haven't even looked up these facts, but they say that 50% of black men are single and childless. So what are they supposed to do?
I know where you got that statistic from because you mentioned that because you mentioned that on Dwight's post. And the person you said gave that statistic, and here his name comes up again, Kevin Samuel. And I'll read you the exact quote that you said because it like I said, it's mind-blowing because you're taking advice in words of a man who's an image consultant. Never and once have I heard that this man has a degree in a doctorate in psychology or therapy, or he's he does something. You're talking about someone who gets paid to dress someone up, someone's image.
Yeah, but but the image consultant consists of what you want. Like if you want to get in better shape, if you want to have better clothes to meet that person you're trying to meet or fit that standard in business that you're trying to meet, you'll get a business. I mean, you'll get an image consultant.
Okay, so here's the quote. Here's the quote, and this is from you. What you said on Dwight's on his thing. You said, let's be honest, a lot of black women from 25 to 35 already have kids, and statistically, according to Kevin Samuels, 50% of black men don't have kids and never have been married.
Right. And I'm one of them, by the way.
You have no kids and never been married?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's up until now. I have had no kids and never been married. Up until January 2nd. I guess I was one of those statistics. But here's my thing to you. Out of all the women I've dated, with or without kids.
Now, do you have biological kids now?
Yes, biological. Okay. Biological. Okay. But here's my thing. Out of all the women I've dated, the woman with 3 kids, not 1, not 2, but 3 kids, has been the best woman I have met. And not just in terms of for me, but in terms of in my mind, clearly the best woman I have met out of all the women I've dated. That's who she is. So my thing is that when you say that a woman, because she has kids, loses value, and you bring up Kevin Samuel's statistics, when in reality, this man is not a relationship therapist. He can't tell a woman what she needs or what she deserves or what she wants. And I feel sorry for the people who are calling into him, but I feel even more sorry for the people who listen to him.
I believe he's telling a lot of truth. That's why I'm speaking, because I agree with a lot of stuff you say. At the end of the day, I believe a lot of, society has been pandering to a lot of women and single mothers to make money off of them. Steve Harvey, Derek Jackson, all these guys been telling them what they want to hear. But where, like Kevin made a very good point, where are the men night after night? Who are they watching? The men, and they complaining and saying what he's saying is right. They watching him. You don't see them on Derek Jackson YouTube. You don't see men on Steve Harvey's YouTube disagreeing with what Steve say. So
because based off, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't pay a lot of attention to Kevin Samuel. I see his videos that go viral. I've watched the clips. I'm gonna tell you 2 things. Number 1, just because you talk loud doesn't mean you're talking right. That's number 1. Number 2, the reason you don't have a lot of men saying, oh, Steve telling the truth, oh, Derek, oh, they telling the truth, is because what Steve and Derek are doing is they're trying to help women who have been, quote unquote, told by people like Kevin Samuels, people who've been hurt by black men or men of other ethnicity, however you may have it, but we're talking about our community. They are helping those women. That's what Steve and them are trying to do, because see, Kevin is a male image consultant. So guess what?
Let me say this. Okay, with that being said, still on Kevin. Kevin has a Facebook group called The Mix. He got, a couple thousand people in there. He's already had 3 engagements on what he's talking about. You never see the women that listen to them ever get engaged, ever find the love of their life that they looking for, that want to believe all those fairy tales they telling. But he actually is showing the proof that high value man that I aspire to be, that's making 6 figures, lawyers and all that stuff, they are actually finding their women in his group.
So, but here's the thing. Okay, so yes, they're publicizing. Oh, I found this person. I find that. Yeah, I'm happy. This is our marriage. Does it last? Does it work? No. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the problem with our community. And they talked about this on the other podcast. Right now, social media is used to put up the positive, the glamour, the light show. And when we see that, we believe it and say, oh, it must be perfect. Oh, it must be great. But in reality, it could be a living hell. So my thing is you're taking what you see on this man's page, what you see in his groups, and you're saying, oh, yeah. But in reality, that man could be abusive. Mm-hmm. That man could be an alcoholic, and a year later, 6 months later, it don't work out. So my thing is that it's like you are not really paying attention to, you're paying too much attention to society. I'm gonna tell you that right now. What you need to do, and it's just my opinion, I don't know you like that, but I know you based off what you said. That's as far as it goes. Mm-hmm. You have to get to a point where you can say, forget what society thinks. I'm gonna be who I am. I don't care if the president of Charles Schwab, if Jeff Bezos, if Elon Musk, I don't care if they don't like Terrence. Mm-hmm. They don't write my paychecks. And if they did, hold on, let me finish. Mm-hmm. And in reality, at the end of the day, I don't care if they did. I'm gonna be the man that my single mother raised me to be. So here's a question for you. Did you grow up with a single mother?
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I did. But it still don't negate the fact that this is what most men think when they see a single mother with kids. And you got so your wife had 3 babies before you, and you had 2 with her, or
1.
How did they go? So you have 1. So you got 4 kids now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happily.
And you blessed up on it. You found the woman that works for you. And like I said, I had no problem with that. But 9 times out of 10, you are a miracle story. A lot of times out of 10, that doesn't happen. I know probably one more person that happened to, but the majority of times that doesn't happen. Okay,
I got okay. We got to focus in on something, because we rewind. You grew up with a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
Detox Podcast, we get personal. If this is too personal, you can say I don't wish to share, but I'm just I ask a personal question. That's what I do. Where was your father too growing up? Was he around?
No, he wasn't around.
Did you have any type of male figure who was there to say, this is the right way, young blood, this is not the right way, to teach you certain things?
Not really. We had, so not really.
Okay, see, and that's the problem. And I can see, because I can see some things here. I can see some. Kevin Samuels, right now, you idolize him. You feel like,
I'm not gonna say idolize, but I'm
gonna tell you straight up. You might not say it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you idolize him. You take things that he said, you take the stories that are posted on his platform, and you say, yo, this must be real, this must be life. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm not gonna say that. I say, I agree with it. That's why, I'm a very level-headed person, a strong-headed person, as you can see, my conviction and the way I express myself. I understand. I wholeheartedly agree with 90% of the things he's saying.
Listen,
it's not that these have been my thoughts before he even said it. He just gave that aha moment. Like, that's what I've been saying the whole time.
But here's what's mind blowing to me. If you dealt with a woman who has kids, and it turns out she was good, it was great, why is it that you can't give every woman the benefit of the doubt if you find out they have kids? Why not give them the benefit of the doubt to say, guess what, this might not be a negative?
Why I won't give them the benefit of the doubt? Because
Kevin Samuels said don't.
Not that. They didn't give the a lot of the fathers before the benefit of the doubt
They
that they was gonna
obviously
stay
did if they
around.
laid down with him. If they laid and stay, if they lay, listen, every woman does not get in bed with the man thinking he's going to walk out the door. There are some
That's
women
true.
who know, but every woman doesn't have that mind frame. If you talk to a single mother, a lot of them felt like he was the one, it was going to work, it was the best thing heaven sent, and it just turned out, guess what? They were fooled, they were wrong. So, and I have a question in the comments. Someone wants to know, do you consider your mother a negative since she was a single mother? Do you consider that was a notch against her?
Yes.
Oh my God.
She chose my father. So
okay, so now you're saying though that it's based off of the people they choose. So you're saying it's not that they have a kid as a negative, it's that their ex is a negative. Is that what you're saying?
So
that's what I feel like is coming in here, because you said her negative is because she chose your father.
Right.
So,
but at the end of the day, you still had kids, and you didn't, things happened. You didn't require this or whatever they have you still got a kid. So it's still, an asterisk behind it. And the thing is, this is rampant in our community. It's not like this. What I'm saying is a shock. This happens all the time. A lot of our community are single mothers. What they say, what when they were doing the presidential elections, what they say, single mothers won this election. That's terrible.
How? That's powerful.
No, that's terrible.
But see, the thing is, now you're talking about devaluing. Now you're talking about taking power away from a woman. A woman who can go to work, a woman who can raise a single household by herself. That is power that I respect. That's
great. That's all fine and dandy, but she can keep a family together.
How do you blame her if it takes two?
It didn't happen. It's got to be something. If our community is all going bad like this, it's something going on. You still choose that man.
Listen,
at the end of the day,
what do you have against women? I
love women.
It's like you got something to get. No, I'm gonna ask you: did somebody hurt you growing up? Let's just be real.
No, but I'm gonna ask you at the same time. What do you have against women by not telling them the truth?
And see, that's the thing. Here's why I started my podcast, because I have a lot of female friends. I do. Mm-hmm. And they will tell you the one thing about me is I am one of the most honest friends. If they doing something I don't like, I'll tell them, look, you fucking up. You need to step away from this. Why are you chasing this man? You're chasing a man who don't want you.
Let me ask you this question.
So I'm very honest with women.
So let me ask you this question. How many women friends that you close with that you say offhand that's in your immediate circle that you close with?
How many?
Yeah.
I would say that I'm close with in my immediate circle 4.
4. Now, out of all those women, how many are married?
0. One's divorced.
Okay then. Something going wrong. Are they single? Are they single mothers?
One of them is a single mother, yes.
Okay,
because
so
she's divorced.
Okay, so what is the other ones? Baby mamas? Do they have any kids?
No, they do not have kids. I have friends that have kids, but they're not my close circle. But as far as my close circle, there's one that is divorced that has kids. But that doesn't take. Here's the thing: she's a great woman. She does make 6 figures.
Okay.
You see her; she's not one of those people that be out. The thing is that her only notch in your standards is she has kids.
Right.
But all her kids came from her marriage. So is that a negative?
So it's still, she got kids, but it's still, it's like, okay.
Hold on. Okay. I know you're going. So let me put you like this. Her husband repeatedly cheated on her. Is that a knock against her? Is that her fault?
No, that's not her fault at all.
So when you look at a lot of relationships in our community and you have men who were causing these broken homes, not women, men. Because let's just.
But I can't let you. Hold on. Just put it off on the men, because it's not. A lot of times the women have been caught. All women in our community have been caught up, and a lot of them have made mistakes, and they caused the breakup. But we always put the narrative that it's the black man all the time.
Okay, so here's a question for you. You have a woman, treats her man right, come home every day, does what she's supposed to do, very loyal. She gets repeatedly cheated on. Repeatedly. But guess what? She decides she wants to stay for the sake of the kids. She wants to be the family, and she wants to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So one time she
like
gets
our
hurt.
grandparents, like our great grandparents did.
Hold on. Let me finish, because this is going somewhere. Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
So one time she decides, you know what? I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of crying. I'm going to step out one time too, to show him how it feels. She does that. And guess what? And let's just be real, because as men, we can't take what we dish out to women. And that's a fact. We know that. Mm-hmm. He decides to leave because he can't take what he dished out. Are you still going to blame her? Who's at fault?
I ain't gonna blame her. They both at fault at that point. Y'all both cheated. Y'all both, one lick don't mean that you gotta take a lick either. So y'all both at fault for doing what y'all did. Both of y'all both cheated, and then it broke up. So it's on both of them at that point.
Okay, but see, the thing is that what do you tell a woman who has a child with a man and is repeatedly cheated on? Even if she doesn't cheat back, she's repeatedly cheated on and says, you know what? I can't take the disrespect. I can't take this. I have to leave. Why is that a knock against her for getting out of a situation she was being treated less
because I don't know that situation. When I see her and I see she got 2 kids from this previous marriage, I see the kid. I see that she got 2 kids. So I'm still thinking I didn't get far enough to know what she went through. And then as I get to know her and I find that out, then that might be a different story. But when I first see her, I'm going to still think in my mind that, oh, this woman has kids already. I really don't want a woman with kids, but let's see how this goes.
Oh, boom. Okay, there you said it. Boom, there you said it. Now, let's just be real. What you said right now is a preference. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's a preference. See, and I think what you were trying to say, but what you didn't say and where you put your foot in your mouth is that you were trying to say your preference is to deal with the woman who doesn't have kids, regardless of whatever the reason is.
Right.
That's your preference. But see, what you said was it's because they lose value. But in reality, some of the best women in this world, and I don't know you as a person, but my thing is that as a black man, I heard what you're trying to do, and I heard you're almost there, but you're not there yet. As a black man, your mother did a great job of raising you. I don't know your mother. I don't know you. I don't know what
she did. I could give her that at the end of the day.
My thing, okay, so now we're focusing on that right there. Your single mother did an excellent job raising you. My single mother did an excellent job raising me. Why is their value gone because of us? Our fathers, for whatever reason, decide to do whatever they did. Why is that a knock against our mothers? Just because I heard you say in the old days, our grandparents. Our grandparents allowed a lot of things to happen.
Yeah, they kept the family together.
But see, that's the thing. In this reality, you cannot. Why would you lower your self-dignity, your self-respect? Why would you lower your self-esteem, all that? Why would you let somebody continually mistreat you just to keep the family together? That's my question. If somebody is constantly putting a foot on your neck, telling you by their actions, not by their words, but by their actions, that you don't matter to them based off what they're doing, why would you stay there? Regardless if you have kids with them or not. And that's the question you have.
Sometimes you gotta leave at the end of the day. But at the same time, we have to understand this is a dramatic situation for the most part. A lot of these, we are 70% single households.
Where do you get these stats, my man? You're naming statistics.
We 70% single households. You could look that up. You could Google that yourself. Like that's not from Kevin. I didn't Google that myself. We 70%, and they said that during the election. 70% single households. The single mothers won the election. This is not how it's supposed to be.
I'm telling you right now.
So that means it's problems on both sides, and a lot of times we've been overlooking the women that's been causing the problems as well.
Here's the problem with our society. Our society as black men. Here's the problem with our society. We want to accuse the women, but we don't ever want to hold our brothers responsible.
We've been holding brothers responsible.
No, we have not. No, we have not. We don't hold men responsible because you said it yourself. You said it yourself. A man could get up, walk out, and that'd be that.
They have media. They have media dedicated to women and bashing black men. They have media dedicated. Like I said,
I'm,
Steve
I'm talking. I'm
Harvey.
not talking about media. I'm talking about why don't black. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about career.
Okay.
People. I'm talking about us, brothers,
Mm-hmm.
normal brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I associated myself back in the day growing up. I associated myself with people who were habitual cheaters. They couldn't help themselves. They had to step out on their relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those friends. I'm gonna tell you this is wrong. I'm one of those friends. Don't let your girl come ask me. I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't send your girl. Oh, I was with Terrence. Ask him. I'm not that guy. What I'm saying is there's a lot of in our community people like me and you, people like De Niro, people like Santana, who do not hold other black men accountable for the stuff we do. We let them skate, and we say, guess what? It must have been the woman's fault.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I tell my friends when they messing up, and to be
You
honest
have
with
married
you,
friends? Do you have married friends?
I had well, I don't have married friends, but I had a married brother, and well, I got two brothers that's married, and he married again, but his first mother, his kid, they basically messed up the relationship. Yeah, they had their faults, but a lot of them messed up the relationships. And my best friend, he tried to have a family, and she broke it off with him, and he was a good man, so. Like I said, I see it from all sides, all angles. And a lot of times we don't talk about these good men that's out here doing what they're supposed to do. And
because good men stay in the house, we stay out the tabloids, and we don't need to be a part of this conversation because guess what? We're good men. But what we're talking about is the negative men because you bring up the statement of women being less valued because they're single mothers. Guess what?
Yeah.
They're single, but my thing is, like I said, it takes two to make a baby. You cannot say a single mother loses value unless you're going to bring that father into the equation. You have to look at the whole thing.
What women value us as being a provider, doing what we got to do to provide for the house.
No. Nowadays, let's just be real. Let's just be this in this era, this dynamic. Some women are the breadwinners. Some women are the providers. It's starting to become a normal thing. It really is. So we got to stop getting out of the narrative that, men have to be, because in reality, let's just be real. All men are not providers. All men are not protectors. You got some men that will get knocked out by their woman. You got some woman, if somebody run up in the house, the woman going to jump up before the man. But see, the thing is that when we're talking about providing, you're talking about financial. It cannot just be financial because in reality, I can bring home all the bacon, but guess what? If I'm one of those men where all of my money is not going into the home where it should be, I'm the problem. I'm the problem.
Okay.
And that's what my thing is. And what you said is an issue because time and time again, there's a lot of single mothers because a father decided not to stay here. A father did.
I have to disagree. A lot of times it's 50-50. A lot of times they push that man away. A lot of times, they made it where he couldn't do what he needed to do. He couldn't even get along with her enough to be the man that she wanted.
He got along with her long. He got along with her long enough to sit there and have the baby. So guess what?
Yeah, both of them did.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. As a man, before you lay down with a woman, if you're going to choose to sit there and deal with that woman long term, you need to know who that woman is. So stop blaming women because guess what? Men are part of the problem too. And the thing is I can tell you right now, one thing I can tell based off everything you said is that the fact that you did not have that man there to teach you this. The point of it is that if me as a man, I can sit there and lay with a woman, I can get along with her after that. It's what I choose to do. And that's what you're forgetting. Men have choices just like the woman did.
Exactly.
There are some times when a man is straight up. I ain't ready for a baby. I don't want to have this baby. A woman decides I'm keeping it. Man walks out. That's not a knock against her. For whatever reason, she couldn't abort that child. For whatever reason, she couldn't take the plan B. So my thing is, how is that a knock against her? The father decided he didn't want to be a part of that life. How are you blaming her for that?
Because at the same time, she still chose that man. A lot of times these sisters, we got to be honest. A lot of times they choosing men they knew wasn't going to be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? They choosing the guys they knew, the most low values of the men that they choosing. And we know this. We see this in our community all the time. We see it. And we steadily give it a pass. Oh, he gonna get better. He did this, he did that. He gonna get better. I'm working with him. You knew he ain't had no job. You knew he just got out of jail. I can say on social media, this dude's on social media that's in jail right now. You go to their page, it's a 2,000 women on their page. And they in jail now on social media. You know, this is the stuff that we don't hold them accountable for. We just allow it to happen and don't say nothing about it. But that time has stopped. It's men that's, coming out here and speaking the truth and not giving them a pass.
See, my thing is this: you can't tell a woman how to be a single mother, how to deal with men if you've never dated one. If you have no kids, how do you tell a woman that she loses value because she has children if you have none? If you've never sat there and had this, I can't even figure out how to say this, but it's like you have no kids.
Right.
I'll be honest. Before I had my child, I dated a single mother, so I didn't understand a lot of the things that came along with it. Now that I have a child, I understand her a lot more. And the thing is that you're mixing up. And Dwight just said something in the comments. He said you're describing hoes. Men and women can both be hoes, and that is true because the women you're describing are women who know men are trash, know the man ain't gonna provide, and they're sitting there running after them.
So let me say that
we're not talking about those women.
Statistically, if we're gonna say 70% of the community, our community, is single mothers. So what are y'all saying? Are we saying that the majority of them are hoes? Where are we getting right with this?
This man just said,
where are we getting at with this? That's I want to be honest, like, because this is not a normal thing. This is not a normal thing. This is normal in our community. And you know, as a man, you see the community, you know this.
Listen. There's a lot of women in the comments who have something to say, but I'm gonna let a woman come on and speak for them.
No problem.
You're very familiar with her, Miss Sable Lene. You and her have a conversation because I need help. Help me understand, Sable.
Hi.
How you doing, Sable?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. What do you have for me?
So I'm still very, very confused, but not more so than confused. I'm very, very concerned. All jokes aside, the thought process you have when we first talked in the last podcast, we mentioned baggage, right? And your definition of baggage had to do with kids. My definition of baggage had to do with things more mental or physical or emotional. I said different traumas. You have baggage. And your baggage is you have childhood traumas that you have not dealt with. You saw your mom be left by your father. Now, I don't know what your relationship is like since then with your father, but I'm assuming he wasn't really around, right?
Right.
Okay. You have trauma because of that. And maybe subconsciously or consciously, you blame your mother for your father leaving. Because every child craves that. Hold on, let me tell you this. Because I came from a background. My biological father left my mother. They broke up. I was raised by my stepfather. So I know what those types of situations, what type of trauma that can have on people. How you viewed that situation and you not checking it as you grew up, maybe not knowing what happened, why they broke up. You said earlier in the conversation that your mother chose that man, so it was her fault he left. You're blaming your mother for the fall of that relationship. You're blaming your mother for you not having. Oh, hold on. It may be, but I'm just saying what you said. Let me just get this out real quick. You're blaming your mother for your father leaving, which means you're blaming your mother for you not having that father figure. As you grow up and this trauma remains unchecked, it grows within you, which is why you have this thought process as women are the sole responsibility of any relationship failing if they have kids.
I never said that.
You did. Hold on. Even if you didn't say it specifically like that,
I'm talking about as a single man. I'm saying as a single man, how I feel and how a lot of single men with no kids feel when they approach a woman with kids.
How? Okay. Okay. And I get your preference. Hold on. Let me get this off. I get your preference. But what you're saying is, and what you have said on this podcast and the podcast prior, is they should have known better. They knew what they were getting into.
Yeah.
But you don't always know that. You don't know what you're getting into. No. Because there's a lot of situations where you really
a lot
don't
of people
know what
have
you got
red
into.
flags. A lot of times we see red flags. And
A lot of times you don't. A lot of times you don't.
I want to say something to him before I forget. Like he said earlier, him and his girl, he didn't understand, the things she had kids or whatever. He didn't understand it till he had those kids. Don't you think a single man deserves, just like a single woman with no kids deserve to go through that experience together? She already got made.
No.
That's kind of selfish. That's kind of selfish saying that a man don't deserve, to share these same moments as having their first child with that woman that he's intimate with and that he loves.
That's unrealistic.
No, my turn.
Okay. That unrealistic?
Okay, listen. Hold on. Because you addressed me, so I'm gonna address this. That is one of the most ignorant ideologies that people have, because for you to say that a man should go through childbirth with a woman, with it being his first and her first as a single, that's crazy. Because in reality, my thing is this: I don't know what
that's normal.
But no, it's not. It's normal to who? Society? To hell with society.
I have a really, really, really quick question, and then Terrence, you can get back to this. So you don't have any married men friends, right? You have family members that are married.
Yeah.
But you don't have any male friends that are married.
No.
How many male friends do you have that are single fathers?
That are single fathers. I got. Let me see, about
none. We passed it.
You say that I see. Like, what do you consider? Like the kids living with them, or
do they have kids or not? You're a single father if you have kids, and you're not.
Yeah, like 2 or 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Why are they single?
Do they share the same thoughts that you share on single women, single mothers? Do they share those same thoughts?
Yeah, some of them do. Yeah, they have thought about it. They have thought about it, but and one of my friends, he said before he got his first, because he got more than one baby mama, but he said when he got his first one pregnant, he didn't want to have a child with her because she had kids. That was his.
Okay, here's my right now. Hold on, here's my thing.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. If he know, okay, you know what? Let's get this out. Let's get this out. Look,
no, it's me.
It takes. Hold on. It takes 2 people to create a child, right? Mm-hmm. You know before you have sex with that woman whether or not you want to have a child, but you chose to go up in there and shoot the club up. You chose to be reckless. It's his fault. It's not the woman's fault.
It's both of their fault.
How's it both of them? Listen,
because they both. She knew. He told her the same thing. He told her,
okay.
I don't want.
So okay, that's one situation. Okay, one situation. They both knew, right? But if he was adamant, did he leave her because she had the child? How'd their relationship fall apart?
Well, yeah, that's basically what happened. But he still took care of his boy, from the beginning. But he just wasn't with her.
And you don't see a problem with that? You don't see a problem with that?
Yeah, that's definitely a problem, and that was his choice, and that was her choice to lay down with him. But
it was her choice. It was her choice to lay down with him. Mm-hmm. And I promise you, for the most part, a lot of men don't really disclose that information. A lot of men cap just so they can fuck women. That's
what I told you in the last podcast.
Right? No, they do. A lot of men lie just so they can get the draws.
And let me tell you this.
I'm not saying. Hold on. Let me make my point. Let me make my point. I'm not saying he did lie, but there's a high possibility that he did. There's not a lot of women who are going into a situation knowing the risk that they can get pregnant and are going to be a single mother. I don't know any woman that wants that scenario. Most people want that family atmosphere. They want the man to be around. Nobody goes into a situation saying, oh my God, I just want to be a single mom. Some people do, but the majority do not.
Okay,
So
now let me make this.
any rational woman is not going to consciously make that decision. So you can't blame the woman and say, oh, you should have known better. Sometimes you don't know better. Sometimes you get in a situation and you're dealing with a lying ass individual. And then what happens is when responsibility in real life kicks that lying ass individual in the face, oh, I didn't want no kid. He's to blame. He made her a single mother. That was not her intention. So you can't fault her for being in that situation. Just like I'm sure your mother did not plan on being a single mother. She probably wanted to have a family with you and her father. But unfortunately, your father left. That's not her fault.
It didn't happen.
Okay.
They all played a part. Hold on, let me say this because she made a statement. But you know, like you said, a lot of men do cap to have sex with these women. And that's what I told you in the last podcast. They do that because they look at you as not being a committed person. They don't even want to really commit to you. They looking at you as a single mother. Okay, I could call you. This is a booty call. This is not going to last long. And then other things happen.
Well, what about if I'm not a single mother? I'm not a single mother and that shit happens. What are you talking about?
Okay. You say if you're not a single mother, it's a different story. He might not look at you the same way. You know, that like that you don't have any kids.
Hold on. Because right now we are Sable, thank you so much for coming on. We are talking in circles. Listen, Jay, Julian, whatever that's deep, stop listening to Kevin Samuels. Talk to somebody, a professional, because you have some built up pain in here somewhere, deep in here. And your resentment and your direction of blame towards women is a toxic trait that if you were, and I'm gonna tell you, somebody said something to me because I said something on Game 7. I was in your shoes on Game 7 podcast one time, and I got dragged through the ringer by Sable, De Niro. So I'm gonna tell you right now, and one thing they said to me was that when this baby would be born, it would be a whole different reality check. You don't want to take this toxic mind frame that you have deeper into your future. So the mind frame that you have where you blame women, where you feel like it's women's fault, where you feel like women need to do better, guess what? It takes two. So
it does take two. And
hold on. Let me finish because we're about to draw this to a close. Okay. I got things to do and I got to work in the morning.
Okay.
You have to get whatever you have built up inside you have to get it out. And the way you get it out is, I'm just be real, you have to talk about it. That's the easiest way. You have to walk down memory lane. Whoever or whatever hurt you in your past, you got to address it. You might have to go talk to some people in your life. Guess what? It might be hard. It might be painful, but it's necessary. When you do, I want you to look back on this conversation, look back on the other conversation, look back on your comments on Dwight's post. And I want you to really think about the things you said, because you have a lot of great women out here who are single mothers, who their value is sky high. Not because of the fact they have a kid, but the fact of what they bring to the world. Even with or without that kid, the things they accomplish. And that's what you're looking past a woman's accomplishments. You're looking past what a woman can do to benefit you, because talking to you, you're not a high value man. So right. The thing is that you have a woman who is probably a higher value than you, and she might have kids. So you need to deal with whatever pain or whatever trauma you have built up inside of you. That's the first step. And second step, you need to talk to whoever hurt you. Forgiveness is easier for you once you accept what your problem is. Once you can accept it, it will be easier for you to forgive that person. Right now, you probably not. I understand. You still have the anger there. Once you can accept what they did, once you can acknowledge they hurt you, it'll be easier for you to forgive them, and it'll be easier for you to talk about. But the thing is, brother, you need to talk to somebody about this, and you need to stop listening to Kevin Samuels. And here's the thing. You know where you want to be in life. You don't need nobody to tell you what you have to do. Put a plan together, follow it. That's the only. Don't listen to Kevin Samuels. Don't listen to none of these Instagram, none of these Facebook, none of these YouTube people. Julian needs to set his plan. Julian needs to write down his steps, and Julian needs to follow them. That's free advice right there, brother.
Right. Now I agree with that, but I don't agree with, I don't, this is, who I am as a person. Like it's not Kevin, like I said, Kevin Samuels that's basically put the aha moment on it. I always felt this way. I always felt a problem going on. Why is it so many single mothers out here? And also, I always felt like, why is these fathers not doing something? But the father side haven't always been heard either. So it's like, but like I'm not saying it don't take two to make it happen. It does take two, but we have been pandering to the women of our culture and also coddling the women in our culture to not accept their responsibility in this mess. And just as a single man, I deserve to be with a single mother in the spirit, not a single mother, but to be with a mother that don't have children, and we have children together and go through that experience together. I deserve that.
Okay, and that's your preference, and that's where we're gonna end the show. Thank you, Sable, for joining us. I appreciate it. We'll see you on Game 7 podcast next week. Mr. Julian, I thank you for joining us and giving your. I know this was a tough. You talked about it earlier. I had to have you talk about it again. I truly appreciate you coming on. All right.
All right. Salute.
To all my listeners, women, mothers, single mothers out there, I just want you to understand. I, Terrence Moore, Dr. Stallion, I appreciate everything you do. I know it's a hard struggle, and this was a rough one. Everyone has a preference. Your value does not decrease because of the fact that you have children. If that's something a man prefers, that's his preference. But don't let no one tell you that your value is decreasing because of the fact you have children. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things wrong with him. But that's a deeper subject for another time. Thank you all for tuning in to Detox Podcast. Because honestly, I need a drink. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.